All right, what's going on out there, everybody? Check it out. What I'm doing right now is a review on renowned astrologer Alyssa Trahan's movie. Yes, she did a movie, a YouTube debut called Alyssa in Wonderland. All right, so I checked it out. I didn't see this coming. I don't know about the rest of y'all. I didn't see this coming. It just popped up out of nowhere. She did a movie. She did a book as well, a book of poems. I believe the book is titled Hell. And she also started a new podcast called Embracing Glory. So all three of these things is like a trilogy of things she just popped up with out of nowhere, back to back consecutively. So I took a look at the movie. I wanted to watch it. I was very interested and I wanted to see what she came up with. So here it goes. So, all right, the intro is dope, right? The intro has this like dark type eerie music. As she's like going through her living room and her place, her abode, I guess you can say, of where she practices astrology. I believe she has a new place. So, the place is decked out in art that she does herself, by the way. So the introduction is pretty much letting you know that Alyssa is more than just an astrologer. She's mentioned being an artist. She's mentioned art being her passion. Before, I think pretty much when she was going through the transition of not doing astrology anymore and, just coming back on the surface, on the scene, having small discussions on YouTube. But it wasn't until I really started seeing her paintings that I was like, no, she's for real. Like, she's really an artist. You know what I mean? So she begins this letting people know. It's basically a signal as saying, like, listen, I'm an artist. You know what I'm saying? Check me out. Like, this is what this is about. So definitely a good way to bring the movie in, if you ask me, because she wants to make that claim. She wants to make that stake that, like, listen, I'm an artist. Yes, I do astrology. I love astrology, but my passion is art. So this is like real dark, eerie music that you can hear in the beginning, which I think correlates well with the whole rabbit hole theme. You know what I mean? Because we're about to go deep inside of her psyche. And it gets pretty dark in there. It does. It gets pretty dark in there. So I think it's a brilliant way to start this thing off, and actually show you that she's an artist as well. So, she does the Hollywood action thing. I think that's dope too, because she's mentioned that she's wanted to be in movies or something to that effect. Something that deals with acting. I believe she even went to Hollywood once or to California to pursue acting or something like that. So you can tell like she's having fun when she's doing this movie. You know what I'm saying? As an astrologer, you gotta you go through things to where you have to carry this level of seriousness because you're dealing with people's lives. Like, if you don't know that, you should know that. I'm an astrologer, so I understand. You know what I mean? I think she does a great job of actually balancing it, adding humor to it. I haven't seen any other astrologer add as much humor to what it is that they do than Alyssa does. I think that's great because, it just brings fluff to it. Astrology can be a very draining process, a very draining practice, and I think she does that well. So, to see her, do the whole Hollywood thing and action and, she's putting on a show, like, this is pretty theatrical. So I also want to say this for anyone out there who's looking to get your feet wet when it comes to film. Go ahead, like, strike out. And I don't mean that like in a negative way. I mean, like, yo, go ahead and put your cards on the table. Like, go ahead and do it. Like, she went and did this thing with a few camera effects and everything, prop the camera up. Like, I can tell, like, there's no cameraman in like maybe at least 50% of this movie. You know what I'm saying? So there's really nothing holding you back. Go out there and do that. I enjoyed this piece as a theatrical piece. So yeah, here it goes. She comes into this thing, right, about, and this is actually on the blog, this post, this Moon and Scorpio post, this local post for this month, for the season of Cancer. So she brought this thing about how she knows a stripper who was an astrologer, right, and stakes a claim that if you're doing healing practices, if you're an astrologer, if you're going into people's lives and you're helping them with parts of their lives that are critical to their current state of being and their future state of being, past included, because you bring up past memories and stuff like that, experiences too, right? That if you're doing this stuff, that you should not be a stripper. No, this is not what she said. Pardon me. That's not what she said, but that's what a lot of people thought that she said. You know what I'm saying? So this actually stemmed from the movie. See, because I was following her Instagram stories before I actually seen the movie. So this thing like blew up in her Instagram stories, and I'm like, yo, what's going on here? Like, she done got herself into some shit again. You know what I'm saying? So because of something that she said. So it's like her stories are just full of this. You can't be a stripper and be an astrologer. You can't be an exotic dancer and practice healing arts. You can't be a prostitute and practice. Yeah, it went that far to prostitution and everything, right? So I'm reading the stories. Apparently, there are a lot of stripper/astrologers. There are a lot of prostitute/astrologers. But what she was saying was she revised the statement. At first, she said that, but then she revised it and she said, that's how it went. She said, you shouldn't be doing that. But then she revised the statement, followed up and said, when you do that, just make it clear to your clients that that's what you do as well, so that they have, that you show the audacity. It's like corporate social responsibility, CSR, in the business world, right? It's like, yo, if you're going to be that type of figure, let your clients know that that's what you do as well. So it's like they don't feel cheated out of it or feel disrespected in some type of way, or at least they have the ability to decide if they still want to deal with you based upon your side practices. You understand what I'm saying? But this thing spilled over, like this thing just blew up and the stories blew up. So that's what actually drew me into the movie, because I'm like, yo, where does this come from? She stated it in the movie, and now it's this huge thing. I think it's still going on, to be real with you. So I actually do a post about that as well during this post. But yeah, this comes up and, it caused a lot of controversy, still is causing waves in the digital world, if you're paying attention. But one thing that she also did after this that I found interesting, she blew the lid off of astrologers. So anyone who follows Alyssa Trahan, right? If you follow her, I think this is another unique thing about this piece here, is because I've always seen the other side of the story. Like, I've never heard her side of the story. She doesn't speak on the allegations against her like that. The most she will do is like drop a hint about, oh, guess what I'm being spoken about now. Like, you know what I'm saying? But she'll just like hint to it and won't go all the way in. So this piece, she tells her side of the story, which I think it was long enough for, but that drives up intrigue and mystery anyway. I'm pretty sure everybody pretty much wanted to know her side of the story anyway. My point is, I've basically seen people do their own type of specials or even short documentaries, if you will, but at least small pieces on what they've been through with Alyssa or what they've heard has happened with Alyssa, excuse me. And again, like, I haven't heard from Alyssa what has actually happened. So this is what she does, right? She blows the lid off of astrologers paying for followers and subscribers on YouTube. I didn't even know that she helped so many astrologers get on. Who these astrologers are, I don't know. She didn't even name drop either. I can respect that. You know what I'm saying? But I had no idea she helped so many astrologers get on. So she's breaking it down now. Like, look, earlier in my career or earlier in other astrologers' career, I got involved. I helped them. They asked me for pointers on how they can monetize and, do readings and make money off of what it is that they do. I went and I helped all of them as much as I possibly could. And she said when she was going, behind the scenes doing this work for them, she found out that the reason why they weren't prospering to the level that they thought that they should be is because they actually paid for YouTube subscribers and followers and stuff like that. So that kind of like, to my understanding, puts like a jolt inside of the algorithm that pumps the brakes on you after you like catapult from 1,000 subscribers to like 20,000. Is like, what are you doing? Of course, we're not going to let you monetize or X, Y, and Z. I'm not sure very detailed how it goes, but somewhere along the lines of that is what she was explaining. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, I didn't realize that she helped so many astrologers get on. But that's a thing out there. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of saddens me to know this, that, not overall. Like, I'm not fucking blind to the fact that people are out there buying subscribers, followers, and different platforms and stuff like that as well. But to know that astrologers are doing that kind of fucks with me. That's just like, that kind of fucks with me, because I just don't get that part. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing astrology, which I'm going to get to later about her movie, you don't necessarily want that many subscribers and that leap of a jump, because that's going to result into numerous amounts of readings, should you be any good, coming at you at one time. And if you're doing it one-on-one to build that type of one-on-one connection with your client base, and you don't have an automated system, you're going to be in fucking trouble, which I'm going to get to later. Is something that happened to Alyssa, which she gets to explaining as well. But I ain't know she helped so many astrologers, and it's kind of sad that astrologers are doing that shit. Now, there was a part in her movie, right, where she's actually auditioning for a movie. This part resonated with me, and I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, I started fucking pumping my fist, because I'm like, yes, finally somebody gets me, because I was actually doing a setup where, because I'm trying to do my own film myself, my first independent film, right? So I set up this thing to where people who want to try out and be actors and actresses for this film can actually audition virtually. So they can, do their video piece on their phones or whatever device they want to use, according to the script that I make available for them upon their request. And then they upload it to where I need them to upload it to. And that's like at least the first audition. Sometimes filmmakers, they have 2-3 auditions sometimes even. You know what I'm saying? So what this does is it cuts a lot of costs. And I don't even want to use all of the business terminology. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely dope. It's definitely a futuristic and innovative idea. And it works. Like, who wouldn't? It's brilliant. Who wouldn't do this, right? So she's actually auditioning for a piece, for a film or something like that, using this style of auditioning. So I started clapping when I seen it. Like, I'm happy to see that's actually being brought to the forefront, especially with her subscriber base. A lot of people are going to be able to see that. So I don't seem like some fucking alien and shit when I try to put this out there. Now more people are going to gravitate towards that and see, like, yes, you can audition. You don't have to fly from fucking Nebraska over here to New York to actually audition for a film and risk not doing it. Although people just love to do it anyway. I'm going to New York to audition for a movie. They love to do it anyway, you know what I'm saying? And I don't mean to take that and, be the fucking, person that fucks that up for everybody, Mr. Killjoy. But I'm just saying, like, when you think about it, you know what I'm saying? It makes things much more convenient and gives everybody a quicker way to be able to filter the process going on. You know what I'm saying? So kudos to her for doing that, and I hope that goes well for you as well, Alyssa. Now, this is where things get deeper. So it's really a rabbit hole effect. It starts off, she's just breaking you in the door, just easing you in, and then it just starts going deeper down a rabbit hole, right? So now she tells her side of the story on a partnership gone wrong that she was involved in. You know what I'm saying? This is actually what I've seen videos or a video pop up about the other person or the other party discussing what had happened, what had occurred. And, I've always wondered, what was Alyssa's side of the story? They always say there's 2 sides to a story, but I always wondered, is it an exact confirmation of what this lady said? Now, Alyssa's side of the story is like, whoa, like, this shit is fucking nuts. Like, she's stronger. She has a higher tolerance level than me. She's a Pisces ascendant though, so I understand the high tolerance level, but goddamn, I mean, shit, man. The shit she said that this woman was putting her through was just fucking nerve-wracking to me. And it's just like, damn, you give people rope, not even just rope. In the beginning, it's like you look out for people. You try to be nice. You try to assist. You try to help. Because that's what it sounds like to me. That's what she made it sound like. She was helping this woman, and this woman was just shitting on the whole parade, like, was very ungrateful for what was being afforded her. and it was just fucking nuts. So, but she got to put her side of the story out there, and she still didn't name drop. But the shit sounds traumatizing like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't. You know what I'm saying? I'd have handled that. I got high tolerance level, but at the end, I think I'd have fucked that up. I'd have did that differently at the end. I think I'd have fucking snapped. You know what I'm saying? So it goes into Embracing Glory now. Embracing Glory is her podcast. I believe it's doing very well from watching the stories and stuff. A lot of responses to it, a lot of good responses to it, a lot of good reviews to what she's doing. So it's pretty much what I'm gathering. I haven't seen an episode or heard an episode yet, but I'm gathering it's extending on the talks that she's been doing lately about the universe and, you know, things that are more philosophical than they are just rooted in astrology. You know what I'm saying? Because she's well versed on different aspects of philosophy. So I think she's doing like a combination of the two, or more along the lines of philosophy with the podcast. So she shows an insert inside of this film about, you know, when she's actually doing it. She's got a new setup. You know, she's got the YouTube plaque on the wall. I think that's beautiful. Show off your accolades. Yeah, you earned that. Put that up there. That's also great for the film. You know what I'm saying? You are prestigious. Show that shit off. You know what I'm saying? With the art that she does, all in her new abode. I'm feeling it. You know what I'm saying? Set up and everything. Got like the mic, the headphones. She looks happy, B. So if you've been following her, you know, her early videos, you could tell how chipper she can be. You know what I'm saying? She's a happy girl, but you can also see that there's a dark side to her. You know what I'm saying? And lately, before this movie, you can see that she was kind of like being affected by getting her thoughts out. You know what I mean? So you can't tell that she's affected by the thoughts, but you can just tell that something is triggering her mind to get these thoughts out as quickly as possible as of late. You know what I'm saying? Now here in the movie, when you see her in doing the podcast, she looks like she's in her element. She looks comfortable. She looks satisfied. And I think to say finally satisfied is to be exact. Like, she looks like she's made it to a milestone in her career by doing this podcast. She looks very homey. She looks very at home. She looks more relaxed. It looks for her. So she gives the audience, she gives us a glimpse inside of the movie as well. So she talks about an Embracing Glory in a snippet of it. She talks about how, as an astrologer, and all astrologers, we're all on the same board when it comes to astrology. And that is true. That is fucking true. Like, you can't, if you're a real astrologer, like, you just can't be divided on the fundamentals of astrology. Like, they're all around the board of the same shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just different mouthpieces, different personalities, us explaining this stuff to you. Some of us have different styles. Of course, we're different people. Some of us even use different techniques that we pick up on our own. But I was even taught by an astrologer that you should do so when you become an astrologer, because you will come across things and experiences that are only said and sound to you. So it is best that you go with that. Follow your intuition and go with that, because you're probably right. The universe is telling you something that is for you. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with her on that. You know what I mean? But it was a very small snippet, and I'm kind of glad that she didn't keep it too long, because it would take away from her being an artist. Like, this is an art piece. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't have to focus completely on astrology. So Embracing Glory, kudos to her for that. So it gets darker. She starts telling about her experience going through the shelter. Now, this I can personally relate to. It takes guts to say this, by the way. I just want to say that. It takes guts to say that, especially when you're known like that, especially when you've reached the plateau of prestige. You know, you hear about the story sometimes of how you could reach the highs and then you go through the lows. But a lot of people go through this, celebrities and stuff, they go through this stuff and you don't hear about the lows. You know what I mean? You don't hear about the trying times or the traumatic times. So for her to be on her A game like that, doing thousands of readings all across the world, to actually being homeless and going to a shelter, it takes guts to admit that, to say that, and keep it official like that. So 100, I can relate to that. Same situation, going through the shelter and, you know, putting the pieces back together and just being like, yo, it's going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get grounded to the point where you got to be a minimalist. She told about a story. She fractured her ankle, I believe, in like 3 different places. The car broke down, so it kind of like forced her to walk. But, you know, she learned a lot in this process. So I can relate. Again, like I became a minimalist after going through the shelter and all that. And I still am now. I think I'm even more of a minimalist now because it taught me so much of going through that transformation of reaching that low point. So I can definitely relate to this part of the story where she's taking you through and it's just like, oh, fuck. But then it gets even darker, right? Because she went through this whole thing with the readings. So if you didn't know, she had like a whole bunch of readings. She became so famous with astrology that she had reading on top of reading on top of reading on top of reading. So, you know, it's great to make one-on-one connections with people when it comes to astrology and do their readings because they feel it more. I get that. It's more of an intimate process, right? But it's like if you don't have an automated process to do this, and this is what I'm saying about astrologers, you think you want 20, 30, 50,000 subscribers, what's going to happen is all of these people are going to want readings if you're good. So she's piled up with readings, 60, 70 readings at one shot. And I believe this is even why she got into a partnership. I'm not 100% sure, but I would believe that that's why. You know, you could pass some of those readings off to some astrologers possibly that can help you out, work through it with you or whatever the case may be. But this shit is overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? And I feel that way when I got 3 readings in my email thing in the queue and I'm just like, fuck, like that shit is draining, yo. Like this is not for play. Astrology is like real shit. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about people's lives. You're helping them through their lives. You're looking at their lives on a picture and you have to do it right. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine having 60, 70 of them piled up. She went through this, wasn't able to deliver on time, went through the whole transition of, you know, saving her family, transitioning, transforming through the shelter and all of that while this was happening. So a lot of people scrutinized her, ridiculed her for not being able to deliver on that, and people paid her for the readings. So she told her side of the story about this as well. Stand-up shit. She kept wanting. To me, this is some stand-up shit. You know what I'm saying? Did it take some time for it to come out? Yes. But, you know, you're not her. You're not your shoes. You know what I'm saying? You're not wearing her shoes. So how long it takes for her to tell you about it because you're a spectator, who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? But for her to come out, and this is what happened, right? She's actually doing 2 or 3 at a time of the readings that were backed up in her log as she goes along, as she's rebuilding herself, as she's building her foundation again. You understand what I'm saying? So that's 100 to me. You know what I'm saying? To actually go back in there and do those readings that she owed while she's going along in the process. She explains that in the movie. That's keeping it 100. So where am I at now? So yeah, it was kind of like damage control. You know what I'm saying? To say to the least. You know what I'm saying? But that's some stand-up shit. So now you know she's just not sitting out there and still making money or still being an astrologer or still being an artist, still being an actress or, you know, pursuing the acting career without taking care of the responsibilities that she owed to people. So yeah, it gets to the rape story. The rape story is graphic, intense. I think, and this is not to make people look at this in a different light, but I think the camera angle that she used of pointing downward on her, you know, the black and white effect, I think that was genius because it kind of like looks like she's in a Catholic confession booth, right? And it's ironic because the church failed her in this experience that she's talking about. The church tried to cover up what she went through with the whole rape and everything, and karma came for that pastor because the pastor later on got taken down for allegations of misconduct. The pastor got taken down for misconduct in the church, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So it just goes to show, you know, it's more of a revelation of what Neptune and Sag generation can produce and stuff like that. Like, it was just, but it's pretty graphic and intense. She went in, again, this took guts to do. and it's in an artistic way. Like she could have just done this anyway. She could have done it like she does a discussion on YouTube. She didn't. She made it. She put this in a filmy type way. Is that a word? Filmy. Well, fuck it. It's a word now. But you get what I'm saying. You know what I mean? When you see it, you'll definitely understand what I'm saying. Tea Time was a classic. Tea Time was classic. The setup is classic, and it puts on the theme of, you know, Wonderland with the Mad Hatter, the tea party, and everything. And she looks fucking mad when she's sitting down with this tea. The way that she's talking, her delivery. This is when she pours it on. She lets you know she's an actress. She's an actress. She can do the shit, yo. Tea Time lets you know that. The way she's speaking, I think maybe she might even put on an accent here and there. The delivery is harsh. It's textbook Alyssa too. When she wants to be sarcastic, you hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? And she's putting things in its proper perspective. She's putting people in their place without saying their names. But I'm pretty sure that these people have seen this. And they probably know just who the fuck they are. And some people are just really fucking bugged out there. The shit that she be going through, like the shit that she hears from these people talking about they want to rape her and all just wild shit. You know what I'm saying? She talks about all of this shit on his just raw. The mouthpiece is raw. She goes off, but she does it in a way that is, she endures. You know what I'm saying? She embraces all of the shit that comes with being famous, that comes with being a celebrity, that comes with all of the shit that I don't think you sign up for when you choose to be an astrologer either. You know, when you do astrology, you're seeking to help people, because I'm pretty sure astrologers found a way that they helped themselves through astrology when they first embarked on it. So I don't think anybody goes in the door just looking to be, you know, attacked and shit. You know what I'm saying? But here, nonetheless, here all of this shit be happening with Alyssa, and she puts it all out there in an artistic way though. So again, Tea Time was pretty fucking great to me, because she had some fun with it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like she was sour about the whole entire thing. She's like, it's kind of like a sarcastic get back, like almost revenge, but it's more of a successful revenge, because it's just like, I endured all of that, and here I am. And again, I'm telling you, a book of poems, a podcast, and a fucking movie. So my review on this is, I mean, I guess if it's like 5 stars, 4 hearts, like I give it the top rating. And, you know, I've been doing reviews on B-rated movies. I'm just falling in love with B-rated movies and stuff like that, because it's like, yo, when you take the simplest things that you have at your disposal and you create with it, it's fucking huge to me. And that's what this piece is to me. It's a huge piece that speaks volumes. It gets right to the point. It doesn't drag you from one, goes too in depth about one piece. It's about a half hour long, but it takes you step through step through step. It doesn't fill you with astrology. We know she's an astrologer. She balances the shit out with things that she went through in her life that she's finally speaking about while being an actress, while doing it. I just think it's genius, brilliant, and daring, innovative. Fearless is really the word that I need to say. Fearless, not only because of the content that's involved in this piece, but also the ability to not be shameful for just taking whatever camera she used and just doing it, adding that effect to it. It looks genius. It's genius to me, and that's just the bottom line. All right, so that's what I got for y'all on this review. Check it out. The link will be under this video, so you can go see it for yourself, and you can chime in on what you believe is, you know, how well she did on this film. All right, y'all, I'm out.